Oh my goodness, the leading lady's here. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you. So, first of all, one thing that I wanted to talk to you about is, as I said, your character kind of goes through the biggest arc. She's the leading lady in this film. And one thing that's really interesting is from the first scene to the second scene, your character kind of does a complete 180.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was that like for you to kind of have to piece together? I mean, did you film the scenes in order, where you were doing that that transformation more like organically, or were you filming these out of order?
We did film them out of order, so we actually filmed the one in my apartment
Oh, interesting.
first.
Yeah.
So it was kind of easy to just be in that, like, oh, I've just had my heart broken, and like this is my life, and you know, like I'm just living day to day. And then to going to the so in love, like, you know, it wasn't hard for me because it was just such a seamless transition. It was like, okay, like this is where she's at, and I was able to just put myself in that situation.
Yeah.
But I did love like the contrast between it, because you do, you know, in the movie it's so like, oh, like I'm so happy, you know, and I'm just kicking butt, and I've got my boy, and you know, like it's great. And then just to be like, you know, like no makeup, and I'm just like, what is even the point of my life? Like I'm just, you know, picking up groceries, and then just to kind of have to put on that brave face later, like I'm in love with this boy still, bless you. But he broke my heart, and both Lillian and Todd get that duty comes first. And as hard as that is, like they both know, like this is what is important. This is for the greater good.
Yeah.
So.
And what's really interesting is I think that they both take two different tacks to that, because, I mean, Lillian's whole arc in this film is that she ends up going against and betraying, in some ways you could say,
Right.
people that she cares about, but to protect them.
Right.
So what kind of was that like to portray that aspect? She believes that what she's doing is right, but
Right.
I would assume that would probably be really hard.
Yeah, because it is a battle between good and, you know, like, it's basically what is good for the most amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
But in her case, she knew that she had to save Todd at whatever cost. And so if that meant sacrificing Xander, then she was willing to do that. And it was a very, very hard decision. Like, I, you know, Lillian did not want to do it, I imagine. Like, she felt wrong betraying the council, and she knew she was putting everybody's life on the line because of this, but she felt like she was backed into a corner and that she didn't have any other choice. So, but, yeah.
Yeah, with that said, like, it seems like this is probably the lowest point for Lillian. At the end of that film, she's just been like choked out, she's lost basically. And how do you see her character moving forward, moving past that, like coming up again? Is there even a way for her to kind of come back up from that lowest point?
Right. That's an excellent question. I don't know exactly where Lillian is headed, but I know that wherever she goes and whatever she's going to do, she is going to do what's right, what she feels is right in the moment. Like, whether that's, you know, sacrificing a few to save the many, or, you know, if that's just saving Todd, or, you know. So it'll be interesting to see how her character grows more in, you know, upcoming, if there is upcoming. So it would be very interesting to see kind of where she goes and how her and Todd's relationship kind of interacts, and how that kind of, you know, is it gonna go somewhere? Are they just, you know, friends, you know, lost lovers, you know?
It's a very interesting dynamic they have. I'm really interested to see kind of how that develops as
Yeah.
time goes on.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to me.
Of course.
Yeah.